Greetings, gangsters. We're back. Round 2 motorcycle vlog. Today I think we're gonna go to the mountains. I have not been to the mountains in a good long while, so might get lost going there, but fingers crossed that we make it eventually. Malik! Hi, Malik! Oh. What a good boy. I got gloves for this time. They're not the right kind of gloves. Let's just one step at a time. Please! And we're off. Here, before we enter the canyon, I'm just getting a nice scenic video of the mountains we are approaching. This to me is like a scene of Southern California. I don't know what other people think of, but this is what I think of. Maybe it's because this is what I know. Last video I did it where I was narrating the experience while it was happening. This video I think I'm gonna give you like some story times about motorcycle stories, but this is our first location. So yeah, we got here pretty quick. I didn't even think we were coming up on it, but we got here, so let's see it. Okay, so I'm here at the destination, which is this restaurant and bar. I didn't realize it was going to take me this way. Google Maps, I did not realize this was a new way for me, new path. I just took the freeway like the whole time. So I guess we're going to take the canyon on the way back. This is the inside of the bar. As you can see, it is very decorated with lovely pictures of what I'm assuming is patrons or regulars. It is giving very heavy Harley Davidson / cruiser vibes, but all bikers are welcome. And if you don't have a bike, you can also come and park your car in the lot and enjoy live music on the weekends and fresh air in the mountains. And look at the bathroom! Yeah! Alright, so here I am. If you're familiar with the area, you already know this is like a classic biker location. Specifically, the demographic is like Harley guys. Quite a few here at the moment, which is crazy because it's Tuesday at like 3 p.m. So back into the canyon. I tried to do the 360 camera. I had no idea it was gonna look like this, so it might not be preferable, but let me know what you guys think. Generally speaking, what's on the right-hand side is what's in front of me, and what's on the left-hand side is what's behind me. And every once in a while, the camera will like go to the middle. I don't understand the way it works yet, but hopefully I'll get around to it. In the meantime, because this view might not be preferable, I will now begin the story times. Story time number 1. One of the very few times that I ever, you know, was graced by somebody else's presence who wasn't a family member, which, like I mentioned in the last video, is very rare for me to do on rides. It was this friend that I knew from the gym, and they rode a Harley, and their pipes were custom pipes. Maybe you've heard the saying before, loud pipes save lives. I think that's actually been disproven, and loud pipes, they might save your life, but more or less speaking, what's going to save your life is being vigilant and praying that there's no crazies on the road. What loud pipes will actually get you, at least in this area, specifically along the coast, is a big fine. And when I was on this ride with this person, they got 2 fines. They got 2 tickets in one ride. We were riding near the beach where we know that that city has noise limits, and a officer of the police pulled up, said, "Hey buddy, what's going on with your pipes?" Ticketed. Then I said, "Dude, you better get out of here. You better freaking skedaddle." And then on this person's way back, apparently they got another ticket. So let that be a lesson to the wise or the unwise. augmented pipes may or may not actually be your friend. You'll sound loud and cool and zippy and scare everybody around you and set off alarms. And you'll also, you know, coolness comes at a price. I think Beyonce said that. Next story time. The story of when I ran out of gas on the freeway. Now, this has not happened on this bike. This bike, a lot of people were asking what kind of bike it is. This is a Triumph Street Twin. However, this is not my first bike. This is actually the 4th bike that I've ridden. My other bikes were much older. This bike, I love it because there's a part of it that tells you, it's like a gas gauge that tells you how many miles you have left before you run out of gas. Now, my other bikes were older. They did not have that. They did not have that. What they did have, luckily for me, was a reserve tank, which is basically like an emergency amount of gas that will get you like a mile or two so that you can get to the gas station. But anyway, so I was riding at night on the freeway, as one does, and my bike stalled, and I was like, oh my god, no way. And I had to pull over, and it was pretty freaky, and then I made it to the gas station. So that unfortunately happened to me more than one time. So that tells you a lot about me as a person, I guess. Next story, even worse, even worse. I ran out of oil. Now, oil and gas are different. If you don't know that, I'm telling you now, your car takes both oil and gas. That's why you need to change your oil periodically, and you fuel gas much more frequently. Anyway, I was unaware of this, so I figured it out, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to go get oil right now, because I need it. So I went to get it. I'm on my way back. My bike dies on the freeway! Unfortunately for me, there is no oil reserve, so I was stranded. I walked my bike from the freeway to where I needed to be. It was like a 3-mile walk. Now, luckily that's not that long, but it was quite the doozy. And of course, nobody stopped to help me, because why would anybody do that? Not that I'm blaming anyone else, that's only my fault, and they couldn't have helped me anyway. So, lesson to be learned, make sure you're paying attention to your oil. Before the next story, I'm gonna show you guys a little something, maybe a little lesson to those who have seen it and don't know what it means. You may have seen when bikers pass each other on the road, they'll give a little hand signal. It's like a little peace sign, usually pointed downward. This is just a little act of camaraderie and kind of be like, hey, I see you, ride safe. It means something along the lines of like, keep the wheels down. And keeping the wheels down pretty much means don't fall. So that's what that means. It's also just kind of like a greeting. So that's kind of nice and creates a sense of community against bikers. If you're a biker and you don't do that, I would understand, because sometimes it's not safe to do that. Like, you need to lock in and keep both your hands on the wheel. The proverbial wheel, of course. It's not a wheel on the bike. It's the handlebars, but you get what I'm saying. Anyway, ride safe out there, fellow bikers. Time for the next story. Story of, you know, a time, multiple times actually. Pop, my dad, I'm so sorry if you're watching this and you didn't know about this, but I have fallen before. I have laid down my bike. I think maybe 3 times. 2 of which were not very intense. It was pretty much I was just like getting out of a parking spot, and the parking spot was kind of tricky, and my bike was too heavy, and I just tipped over and I fell. I believe one time my friends were watching me. I mean, they weren't even really my friends. They were more like situational friendship, you know what I mean? And they were like, wow, Patricia, you're so cool on your bike. And then I freaking fell over the parking lot. So, you know, it happens to the best of us. Just make sure it doesn't happen in extreme cases, I guess. Now I'm just pulling over pretty much to switch the camera because I wanted to switch the camera for a little bit. I think the consensus was that the other view was better, but there was a car riding the entire time through this canyon, and I'm the type of person that I mean, hopefully they don't hit me, you know, hopefully they're not like angry, but I was going the speed limit, so I'm not gonna speed up just because you're in a rush. Just, I don't know, start earlier. We're all going the speed limit when I'm on the road. And with that being said, I will give some words of wisdom that my father imparted upon me, as he was the person who, well, basically I convinced him that I need a motorcycle because he rode a motorcycle for most of his life. It's actually super cool. Maybe one day I'll show you guys. He still has the bike that he's had from like childhood, so that's pretty epic. But he's a very safe rider, so I definitely get a lot of my riding mentality from him. Like you can see here, I'm entering the freeway and there was a line, and I was like, I think a lot of people would probably just skip the line, but I'm gonna wait in the line. So I waited in the line. Anyway, one thing that he tells me every time before I go for a ride is, remember, you're invisible. And this is something that I live by on the road, because too often I'll see bikers willy-nilly being like, everyone's looking at me, I'm so cool, yeah, whatever, they all see me. They don't see you. Nobody sees you. You need to see yourself and be vigilant. Anyway, that's it for the day. I hope you guys enjoyed. Bye!